Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 nerds by nerds. Hang out with this nerd.
Nerdarchy Ted.
And today we're going to be talking about getting more mystical mileage out of your beast companion for the ranger.
Jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So we want to talk about maximizing your ranger build when using beast companions. We've done like a bunch of different videos as far as, what's the best beast companion. Dan Dillon has done several write-ups on, why the Ranger Beastmaster is a good archetype. So we want to look at one of the things that kind of is going to give you a little more bang for your buck when playing the Ranger and using a beast companion.
All right, now eventually Rangers get the ability to share spells with their companion. And so we're going to angle towards that element here. What spells that I can cast on myself that my beast companion gets to share with me.
Right. So once you get to a high enough level, 15th level, where you're going to able to share spells, you're going to really want to maybe rethink your spell list depending on where you went before, because essentially every time you cast a spell, you're going to get the double up. You're going to you're going to be able to cast it twice.
Effectively, yes. You cast it on yourself, but it also incorporates the companion. So I think the coolest one is going to be Zephyr Strike. This Zephyr, however you want to pronounce it, this one allows you that, for the duration, it's no concentration, you don't provoke attacks of opportunity, so you're going to be able to zip around the battlefield. For you, maybe this isn't as much, but your animal companion can dart about, not draw those attacks of opportunity. Once during the minute that this spell lasts, you can get an advantage on a single attack that when if it hits, you're going to do an extra die 8 force damage, and in addition to that, on the turn that you use this extra oomph, you get an extra 30 feet of movement. So there's a couple different elements of being able to work with this. Number one, you could forego, well, I don't need to worry about the attack, I just need to get out of dodge. So I'm going to take my extra 30 feet of movement, and me and my animal companion, we're just going to get out. Or you both can, tag team an enemy, doing your normal damage, die 8 damage on both of your attacks of extra force damage. Most things aren't resistant to force, so that's gonna hit. You're both attacking with advantage. It's a win-win situation.
Well, that's also one of the ways you can use it, but also you don't have to make that attack. You don't have to take that attack with advantage and get the extra damage. You could not forgo, but wait with your beast, especially with your beast companion. Have your beast companion darting in and out instead of attacking. Maybe they're just using the help action, giving you advantage on all your attacks. Oh, all of your first attack for the round anyway. But, for the remainder of the combat, or assisting other party members by giving the help action as well. So you could wait and choose an opportune time to use it. So this way, your beast companion would technically have would have that ability to avoid attacks of opportunity throughout the combat, if it's a beast that doesn't have something else that does that for it anyway.
Right.
So you can get a little bit more utility out of it for positioning. Do you need to get an ally adjacent to the rogue to keep getting sneak attack? It can dart in, dart out, and time its attacks to help the other party members. And like you said, you do always have that advantage plus the extra damage you can draw on.
Absolutely. So what do you got as your your spell that you like?
So there's actually a couple of them, and the fun thing is most of them are low level, and some of them are pumpable. Both Absorb Elements and Ensnaring Strike fall into that category. Absorb Elements is good just because it helps with survivability. It's a great spell. Reaction, boom, you take half damage from an energy type. Well, if your Beast Companion happened to get caught in that same attack, he's going to also take half damage. Now, on your next turn, you're going to get to add a die 6 of that type of damage to the attack for each of you, as long as you both got caught in the blast.
Right.
If you decided to pump the spell up higher, then you're going to get a d6 for every level of the slot you used.
Now, you've actually used this spell in my game where you've done more damage with the return fire than what you were hit with.
Yes, and I think that is so cool to be able to do, and I think it's just funny. But the ranger can do it doubly, right? If the ranger were to use their highest slot for it, and then him and the companion were both to attack, then you get all those dice.
Yep.
And not
for one spell.
For one spell, and not only that, hey, and if one of you happen to crit, well, then you get to double those dice again. So I kind of like that. That's a lot of fun.
I would see that as well. Yeah.
Now, in Steric Strike is when you hit somebody, basically vines wrap around them, thorny vines wrap around them, hold them in place. They have to make a saving throw or they're restrained. At the start of their turn, if they're restrained, they're going to take a die 6 points of damage per level of the slot you used. Again, this is another one you can pump it up to, hopefully do more damage with. And now because you've cast it and you have a Beast Companion, you're going to get to use it. Your Beast Companion is going to get to use it. You can spread the restraining love throughout the battlefield.
Or, because of the way mechanically it works, well, perhaps there's multiple enemies, but you really want to focus fire on that one. That's 2 chances to restrain that guy. Oh, I hit, okay, he passed his saving throw. He's not restrained. All right, my Panther, you do your thing.
Yeah, exactly. And you can use strategy in this case where one of you attack, find out if he's restrained or not. And then you could either attack a different opponent or attack that one. So yeah, absolutely.
That is the great thing about the actual sequence of events. Playing D&D. I cast the spell. I now do this thing while the animal companion is going to follow suit and do the same, do what I need him to do. So if mine winds up missing, well, then maybe his won't.
Now that brings us to probably the most powerful of the ranger spells that are self that you could share. And this one, you're going to get a lot of bang out of your buck, and that is Guardian of Nature.
All right, so what does that one do?
All right, so you have two versions. You have Primal and Guardian Tree, right?
Okay.
And so the Primal one is going to make you kind of like more feral and savage, and it's going to give you a couple things. It's going to give you dark vision. It's out to 120 feet. So more than likely, your Beast Companion might have it, but it's probably going to get more. You're probably going to get it, or you're going to get more. You're going to get extra movement.
Nice.
You're going to get advantage on strength-based attacks. So if as long as both you and your Beast Companion are making strength-based attack advantage, not a bad deal. And then lastly, you're going to do an extra die 8 of force damage.
That's pretty handy.
Yeah, and again, we're getting to double down on it. So you're doing it, your Beast Companion is doing it. So all the extra damages.
So like I think there was like a visual component to this. Like you grow bigger and you grow like layers of fur. So like it could be kind of cool that you step into the battle and maybe not Hulk out is the appropriate term because he gets massive, but the smaller version.
The smaller version.
You mini
savage.
Hulk out.
How about savage? You get more savage looking. You and your Beast Companion. Now the Guardian Tree is a little bit more. It makes you a little more tanky. Gives you 10 temporary hit points. I'm like, that's okay, but it's not like super great. It also gives you advantage on Constitution saving throws. Now that's good if you want to be, if you're concentrating on spells or something like that. That's going to be helpful.
Now, is this one concentration?
Yeah, it's a concentration spell, so that advantage on con saves is going to help you keep it up. And you never know, against other effects, it could just be useful as well. You're going to get advantage on Dex and Wisdom. So attacks. So if you're making spell attacks as a ranger, or you're making Dex attacks using ranged weapons, or maybe your Beast Companion is using Dex as their primary stat. Mm-hmm. So it could be helpful there. The last part is actually the best part, though.
Okay.
And I don't think this is going to be as useful for a Dex-based Beast Companion, but for battlefield control, it could be pretty decent. And that is 15-foot radius becomes difficult terrain around the caster. So so that's 30 feet between the two of you. Mm-hmm. So you can go around and it's going to help you control the battlefield. Maybe keeping the enemies away from squishier targets in your party could be helpful.
Absolutely. Difficult terrain, is not going to be slowing you down as a ranger. Shouldn't be affecting your animal companion as well, but slowing down a horde of enemies that are trying to rush your spellcasters. That could totally change the way that the tactics of the battle wind up going. But I mean, if you're a deck-based ranger and you create that area, that makes it that could prevent an attack from hitting you, because they spend their movement to get into the field but can't get all the way to you. So that could be pretty handy depending upon how you wind up layering it. The 10 extra hit points, totally worthwhile for your animal companion, because they do suffer from that throughout the levels. So an extra 10 hit points of survivability, never gonna turn away.
Now, another area we haven't even talked about is the fact that if you can, as a Beastmaster, find other ways to get a hold of spells that target self that maybe aren't on your list, that would be a great place to look as well. Like Magic Initiate, you're going to get access to a first level spell.
Mm-hmm.
So there you might find some other spells that you can curate from the other class lists that might want to add to your list that is going to be helpful.
And there could be magic items that wind up appearing in games as well.
As well as if those higher levels, if you wanted to forego more ranger levels and you were to take a spell casting class with the idea that you're going to cherry pick spells with the self, so that you could double up on them and make your beast companion and yourself even more effective.
That could totally work.
So there's just some ideas on how to get a little more mileage out of your beast companion. What do you guys think? We got a place where we can discuss it. That is down in the comments below. While you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
You can check out the store over on nerdarchy.com.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.